Your personality is not what you think it is. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the truth about this, what you can best do to change your reality, and how to get to the deeper core of who you really are. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you that of what is called the personality illusion. Understanding the truth about who you really are at a deeper level, and understanding how you can let go of these facets of yourself that you may no longer prefer to experience, and showing you who you really are in reality. Now, for this, the way that I think about this is, first off, what I do is I like to look at the word itself. The word itself, personality. Personality has that of a word in it as persona. Persona means mask. Has to do with a mask. And we all have these masks. We have these masks that we've worn for such a long time and they feel so comfortable to wear. We put them on, many times we put them on when we were younger, and we decided that this is who we are in order to survive in reality. Like sometimes we may have a certain sense of humor, which we may have because it may be actually a safety mechanism. But we're not even aware of it. We're like, this is just who I am. We may have a certain sense of laziness. And a certain sense of laziness is also not who we really are, but we may have it there as a safety mechanism because of something else. You see, the way that we identify ourselves in the present moment determines which reality we experience. We always experience a reality that is equal to our vibration. And our vibration within our personality, we're always going to stick to a certain base point. A certain base point for the way that we see ourselves. Now here's the interesting thing. The way that we see ourselves, we go out into reality and we act a certain way, and people perceive of us the way that we perceive of ourselves. This is why sometimes people may have a certain insecurity, and if they have that insecurity, they project it out. And other people can feel it. And then other people may subconsciously feel that and then think the same way about that person. So the way that we see ourselves is intimately correlated and intimately reflected out, and other people respond to that. So if we don't view ourselves as worthy, other people may also find little kinks in our armor. And our armor is there as a safety mechanism. Our armor is there because it may hold people back from really knowing the real us. So, personality in general, and you've heard that quote saying before that I've said from Dr. Joe Dispenza, our personality creates our personal reality. Our personality, which is a combination of what we think, how we feel, and what we do, that personality creates our personal reality, which is very true. But the thing that I want to share with you is that your personality, everyone's personality, is an illusion. It is a cover-up to who we really are. We are really divine spiritual beings that are dreaming we are these 3D physical avatar bodies. And what we do is, from an early age, we care what people think of us. We care if people perceive us as a little bit weird. We care if people view us as confident or not confident. We care what people think of us. And we grow up being socially conditioned to think, what is everyone else thinking about us? And sometimes what we do is we decide at a certain point in our life, this is how I have to be in order to be a certain way. And the moment we make that choice, that there's a dysfunction with me snapping my fingers for some reason. The moment we make that choice, that's who we are, is the moment that then we'll do everything we can to stay consistent to that way that we see ourselves. We'll do everything in our power to do that. This is the way I am. I figured this out the hard way. It wasn't that hard. But I went to this place in Costa Rica. I did this transformational breath work. No idea what to expect. I'm actually in LA right now and I did it recently too. And I did this transformational breath work. And what you do is you breathe this oxygen in very deeply in a certain pattern, and you do that for like 45 minutes. And as you do that, you bring so much oxygen in your body that then it like floods you with the emotions that have been suppressed. And I had emotion that was suppressed from when I was a kid, because some of you know my story. I had an abusive ex-stepmom. And that suppression of those emotions, what happened was, is after about 15 minutes of doing this breathing exercise, I turned into like this praying mantis being or something. Like my hands went like this. I guess it's very common too. They say that it's very common to have these hands that go like this. I'm laying on the floor breathing, and it's like my hands go like this, and it was like really painful. It wasn't actually that painful. It was just my hands really tensed up, and I felt, and I just intuitively knew, like, let go, let go, let go. And as I let go, I felt this energy feel through my body. And then after that, I felt this energy wave. And then at the very end, I opened up my eyes and I felt like, I had like this psychedelic experience. It's just breathing, nothing else involved. But then afterwards, I go and I talk to one of the ladies there, who was the breathwork practitioner, because I thought it was just fascinating. I had no idea what to expect. I did it kind of on a whim because I just got there and I was waiting for my buddy Victor to get there. And at this place in Costa Rica that we go to every year, and they have transformational breathwork like the first day you get in. And I asked her and I talked to her, and she said, basically what happens is we have a certain breathing pattern, and then at a certain point in our past, something happens where we decide that we have to be a certain way. Something happens and our breathing pattern changes. When our breathing pattern changes, what comes along with it is a choice about who we are. And then also, the breathing pattern changes, which changes our hormones. You know, if you ever notice people with very shallow breathing may not feel very confident. There's hormones that correlate with that. And there's different breathing patterns. And she says you can look at someone's breathing pattern and tell how and who they are. You can see their personality through their breathing patterns. I said, interesting, what can you tell me about my breathing pattern? She looked at my breathing pattern. She already saw me in the workshop. She goes, you're what is called an overachiever. I was like, whoa. I was like, thank you. I didn't know what that meant. I was like, overachiever, She's like, is this good or bad? She's like, you're an overachiever. She says, she's like, it's really good, but you believe you have to work really hard for success. And you always over deliver. Anything you do it so much. Like, that was the idea. And she said at a certain point in your past, something happened, you decided you had to be a certain way. She says, even your breathing, you control. You have to control your breathing. When I breathe in, it's true. I've always kind of breathed like this. I was like breathing even more oxygen than I need. I'm controlling the oxygen that comes in my body like too much. Instead of just letting naturally breathing in more oxygen, I'm like, so I tense up my back and breathe in. She says that tenseness of that bringing in is this armor that you created around your torso of like a protection, like a safety mechanism. Like you've created this armor, like you're this warrior that has to over deliver and protect. And I looked at my life and I was like, wow, yes. Because at a certain point, something happened, having an abusive stepmom, and I realized I had to be somebody. So from that, I'm like, I need to be successful in life. I need to protect myself. I need to protect other people. I've always had this warrior mentality of having to over deliver and be more than I am. And it started from the moment I decided that's who I was when I was young, and I totally forgot about that. And then I did everything I could to remain consistent to this way that I define myself. So, in a way, that moment that my breathing pattern changed in the past, when something could have happened, it could have been a negative experience, but I chose and said, this is who I am. Maybe I even said I don't feel certain emotion, like I don't allow myself to like cry or something, because maybe something was happening in my past. I said, nope, that's not who I am. I have to be tough. I have to be a man. I have to be a man. So, our personality, now here's something else I've noticed about the personality as well. Our personality changes as we make new choices about who we are. I've kind of talked a little bit about this before when it comes to archetypes. Because there's this archetypal energy that we all pick up on, and if we identify with it, we start to embody characteristics of it. For example, you may start to identify as like a joker. And a joker, like you're clowning on things, you're having fun, you don't think things are too serious. That's like a certain archetype, and sometimes you might identify with that. For me, there was a switch that happened when I was 15 years old, when my dad divorced my ex-stepmom, who was the abusive person in my life, who I wasn't able to express myself. Me and my brother and I weren't able to have friends. We weren't able to go to the school activities. We would get those taken away from us. So we were just working outside all day. We weren't allowed to, it was a very unique situation. Not to say it's the worst thing. I know some people have been through way worse stuff. But I'm just saying, we weren't able to have friends. We weren't able to do things that we liked. So when my dad divorced her, and then sophomore to junior year of high school, all of a sudden, my brother and I have all this freedom. We're able to be ourselves. We're able to go to school activities. We're able to be a certain way. In that moment of my life, I took on this new level of my personality. I made a new choice about who I am. I like to snap my fingers in this video, obviously. And I decided that the kind of person I am is, I then was going into school, and there was like a moment where I decided that I was like a jokester. And I had a class with one of my friends, and we would joke around a lot, and then people in the classroom started to just think I was funny. So I would like go out of my way to do things just to like kind of be funny, and I had fun in that class. And I was able to kind of be myself, like have more of this fun like personality that I didn't give myself permission to feel in the past. So I made a choice, this is who I am, and then I started to have more fun. And my personality changed. Sometimes we give ourselves certain definitions. We say, this is who I am, this is my personality. We do it even unconsciously, but guess what? Our personality is just what we give ourselves permission to be. Our personality may have a certain, in a way like a character lock of the way we see ourselves, a certain way that we see ourselves, a certain way that we give ourselves permission to be, and we're just not aware of that. But then eventually something will come along and we'll just give ourselves permission to have more fun. We'll make a shift in our vibration, a shift in our personality for the way that we see ourselves, and then we start to experience and give ourselves more permission to be that way. And even you fast forward this to like last year in 2018 when I went to Rhythmia, like the Costa Rica experience I'm talking about. The second time I went, first time was 2017, November 2017. Second time was November 2018, and I went with Victor Otto, Leor Alexandra, and some other YouTubers. And when we went, I just realized that a lot in my life that I was up until that point, like I was making a daily video on YouTube. I realized I was starting to take myself very seriously. Like I was like, I'm making videos on YouTube. This is another video. My name's Aaron. And sometimes I'm like, people don't follow me on Instagram. They may think I'm like the serious person when I'm not that at all. I get into this vibration when I make videos that makes me look and appear very more serious than I am. But if you were to follow me on like Instagram, you would see in my stories that like I just joke around a lot. I just like to have fun, but I just do spontaneous things. I do really random things. I'm very sarcastic, but and that's a part of my personality that I don't necessarily always show on YouTube. But then what happened is I went to Rhythmia in 2018, which is like doing this plant medicine stuff, and it made me aware of these certain parts of my personality. I was starting to develop this work hard mentality that was starting to crystallize itself. I was like, uh-oh, I don't want to always be so serious of like, I need to get to the next level. I need to become this type of person, like a Tony Robbins or something like that. But what I realized is that I wanted to have more fun in life. I wanted to joke around more. So in that week that I was there, I decided that I just need to have more fun. Here's the irony as well. As I started to have more fun, I was more abundant than ever before in my life. I was having more fun than ever before in my life. Everything in my life was aligning up more and more the more permission I'd give myself to have fun. So for months after that, you could see in my energy field that I just felt loose. I just felt more authentic. I was giving myself permission to be myself. I didn't care. Before that, I cared so much about what people thought. I would have been like, I'm never going to share that I'm at this place where I do this stuff, plant medicine. People will judge me. People may think I'm credible. I don't know. I was so trying to protect my self-image. But then what happened is I let that go, and I was like, you know what? I don't care. The old paradigm, I think to myself, like, would Tony Robbins, I want to be Tony Robbins one day. Would Tony Robbins share this information? I was like, probably not. But I was like, you know what? I'm not him. And I just want to be myself. And I just want to share what's authentic to me. And I think that people that resonate with it will resonate with it, and people that don't won't. But I don't need to concern myself with that. I just need to be myself. Be myself like 100%. So that's what I did. So I gave myself more permission to be myself, to have fun, to joke around, My content became much more loose. You may have seen in some of my YouTube videos, and for sure on my Instagram, you'd see that on Instagram stories, I was just joking around a lot. I had more fun than ever before. What was the difference? What was the difference? I just gave myself permission to be in this new way. I gave myself permission to have fun. I gave myself permission to joke around. I gave myself permission to shift my personality from being serious to being fun. The thing is we all have different aspects to our personality. You probably have people that you've been around that when you're around, you just have fun. I have a couple friends like that. When I'm around them, we just joke around. I have some friends that when I'm around, we're more business. We talk business, we talk about stuff we're learning, very meaningful relationships. Then there's always different aspects of us depending on what we give ourselves permission to be. To be. The word to, the word be. To be. How are you being in reality? When you say the words I am, anything that comes after that, that's what you're giving yourself permission to be. And you can give yourself permission to be any way that you prefer. It's just that there's a certain personality structure pattern. Your personality is just a pattern of character, of a way you've identified yourself, but what you can begin to do is change that. You can mold that by letting go of the layers of the protective mechanism that you might have there of you are serious because you have this protective mechanism that you have to appear a certain way on YouTube. That was the way I viewed myself. Now I'm like, wait, that's not really who I am. I just want to be fun. I just want to have fun. I just want to express myself. I just want to be authentic. And by having more of that perspective, everything comes easier anyways, because it's less energy expenditure trying to protect some false identity. So the way you become aware of this is by being aware of who you are and what is authentic to you. How are you being? And however you being, at the being level is where all the power is. Your being level is always connected to your passion. It's connected to your passion. It's connected to your heart. It's connected to what's fun to you. You see, when we start to act in this, it's almost being childlike as well. The more fun I have, the more childlike I am. Because I think some of the dumbest stuff is funny. Leora and I walked around yesterday. We were at Arrow One. Arrow One is like, imagine Whole Foods and imagine the next level over Whole Foods. Imagine you go in and you want like a shake and it's a $20 shake. You thought $8 to $10 for a shake was expensive? You haven't been to Arrow One. Arrow One, it's $20 for a little shake. So, but they're delicious. They're really good. So Leora and I are like, let's go treat ourselves to these shakes that they'll turn into ice cream. So we had like these ice cream shakes. We're eating them outside of this place called Arrow One, which is very fancy place. Even Arrow One, it sounds like a very luxurious name. You had a friend, this name was Arrow One. It's spelled E-R-E-W-H-O-N. You'd be like, whoa, it's very fancy, very fancy. We're eating outside, and we're just noticing our environment. And it's like we notice, we're not judging people, but we're noticed that some people are just so serious. There was this guy over here that was like cursing on the phone at someone else. Like, you need to do this, 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 this. It was like, whoa, so fancy, so serious. And then there were some people behind us that were also having like this really serious conversation, and we kept hearing these curse words. And there's nothing wrong with curse words, but it was just funny. We just kept hearing all of this stuff. So then Leora kept saying this. We started doing this funny thing, but Leora started it. It was like this. She kept saying, "Reality is a dream," or "Nothing is real. It's all a dream," or something like that. Nothing is real. It's all a dream. And we just thought it's funny to say that, just in general, because it kind of wakes people up out of their pattern interrupt. But like this guy's like right over here, we're like, nothing's real, it's all a dream. And she kept saying that. And as we were walking back to the car, we just kept passing people. And she kept saying, nothing's real, it's all a dream. It was something like that. It was like that kind of phrase. And it was funny because you see, like most people just don't even hear it. It's like out of their scope of perception. But it was just a funny, for us it was just a funny pattern interrupt, a way for waking up. Waking up to reality. Even this character we play in 3D reality we think is real. It's not real, it's just a dream. It's just a certain level of identity. And the more you give yourself permission to just let go of the seriousness of life. Yes, acknowledge it. Yes, do what you need to do. But the less serious you make it, the more malleable it is. Your personality is not what you think it is. Yes, your personality creates your personal reality, yes. But your personality is totally malleable. Give yourself more permission to have fun. You can come in. Okay,
I'm
she just got
sweaty.
done doing yoga.
No.
I was just telling them about Arrow 1. Okay? You look great. Okay, we were talking about Arrow 1. What were we saying yesterday? Yeah, it's all a dream.
Nothing's real, it's all a dream.
Nothing's real, it's all a dream. We're talking about personality.
We're gonna do that all day today too.
We should do it. We're thinking of making it a thing where like we go around, we Instagram ourselves doing it.
You guys should do it too. And do hashtag nothing's real, it's all a dream.
Nothing's real, it's all a dream.
And then tag us.
And then tag us and we'll share it on our Instagram.
Basically just say it randomly to strangers on the street unless it's dangerous.
Unless it's dangerous. You don't want to be mean to people, but
yeah, be nice.
We were walking around, we're like, nothing's real, it's all a dream. And we were just kind of walking around. And it was just a lot of fun, honestly. It was just fun, and there was a couple people that thought it was funny.
Yeah, they were cracking up, and then most people though,
they won't even hear it.
Don't hear it because they're so in their own world.
Yeah. But
everybody's on their own little planet.
They are, and they're all it's like they're all inside, like thinking about. That's why people always care about what people think, but everyone's thinking about themselves anyways.
True.
So it's like there's nothing to really worry about. So this personality is something that's an illusion anyways. Give yourself permission to be yourself. And just have fun in reality. The more you give yourself permission to have fun, the more your reality will become malleable anyways. So, something else that I have that will help with this whole entire thing that I'm talking about is a meditation that will help you to raise your vibrational set point. It'll help you to become the most high vibrational version of you. It's absolutely free. It's in the top of the description box below. Read the comments on that video to see what is possible on that meditation. And listen to it for 21 days. If you listen to it for 21 days, I think it'll change your life. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification gear so you can see the daily vids that I do. The way that YouTube does things now is you have to hit that button in order to see the daily vids. So I have videos coming out every day, so hit that button in order to do so. Other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste. She said namaste as well.